Hey guys, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we are checking out Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion on the Xbox Series X. And I would like to thank Square Enix for providing review code for this game. Such a cool opportunity. So first of all, I want to go over my experience with this game. So I've been playing it for a little while now. This is the first impressions, basically. I've been playing it for about an hour. Finished some stuff. Did some of the game, reading tutorials, bunch of stuff like that. I went into this game kind of expecting it to be more like Final Fantasy VII Remake. And for the most part, it pretty much is. It is pretty close to that in a lot of regards. But the main thing about this particular game, it's more of a mission based thing. Like, you come back to the mission thing. So far, from what I can tell, you come back and you'll go on a mission. You know, you walk down some corridors. You'll take out the enemies, stuff like that. Fight a boss. So I feel like that's pretty much what the structure of this game is going to be. Now, I never played this on the PSP. I never really got into that part of it. So when I saw this was coming to consoles, I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty cool. So I asked for a review code, and Square was able to provide that for this review. So I want to talk about some of the stuff here. Now, like, some of these, like, this game does look like it's been upgraded. It's almost on par with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played that on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and I've played through all of that. So for the most part, like, visual wise, when it comes to like characters, stuff like that, it's pretty close. Resolution on this looks like it's pretty high. I'm playing it on the 4K OLED. It looks really good. There is no HDR for this game, sadly, and that kind of does suck. But I kind of feel like with the upgrades and everything else for this, the quality of the visuals, the combat, the fluidity of the game, the way it feels, it's feeling pretty dang good. It feels like it's a locked 60 frames per second. I haven't perceived any drops in frame rates or any lower resolution or anything like that. Now, some of the cutscenes in this, you can kind of tell that they're just kind of upgraded, and they still kind of basically use that older template for that visual design and stuff. So it is kind of a little bit jarring when you see that, but then when you see like the in-game cutscenes and all of that stuff and like the character models, it's pretty cool. I'm actually like getting really into this game and having a pretty good time with it. So I wanted to get out a first impressions video and kind of let you know what to expect. I personally feel like a lot of the detail and a lot of the game is definitely an upgrade. So if you're like somebody that's already played Crisis Core, I think you'll appreciate the upgrades and all of that stuff. But if you're somebody that's new to it, like I am, there's a lot to appreciate here. There is a lot to appreciate here. Now, I do feel like I would say that, like, part of me wishes that they would have just did a full-blown remake of the game. But then another part of me feels like this is adequate enough because it is pretty updated. There's a lot of good textures, a lot of good visual quality. The game is looking pretty incredible. Let me fast forward it a little bit here so that we can just move away from all of the those things. Sorry, I'm recording over the video that I already played because I wanted to just sit back and play the game without really having to sit and talk while I'm trying to like engage in combat and all of that stuff. I am playing this on the normal difficulty. It was feeling, I'm not going to say it felt easy, but it did feel easy at first, but then it started to pick up as you get a little bit further into this mission and stuff. It starts to feel a little bit more like, oh boy. There's like an interesting combat system in this thing where you'll you'll be able to use like special abilities. I don't completely understand it just yet. I'm still working on that, still trying to figure it out. But for the most part, like gameplay, like I said earlier, it feels fluid. It feels really nice. I haven't noticed any like frame drops or anything to make me think like, oh my gosh, this game's not running that good. It feels really good. The visuals are really clean. As you can see, it looks incredible on a 4K screen. Combat feels fun, feels fluid. It feels pretty close to what you were getting with Final Fantasy VII. Aside from the, I mean, you do have like some stuff that you can push the, like the LB and then like any of the corresponding buttons to do like a fire attack or a lightning attack or an ice attack, and then a cure, like a heal yourself type thing. So, and that's pretty that's pretty standard. But then you also have bigger moves where like you'll like get this like special ability or something, and then you can attack, just by using that, and it'll be like this combo or whatever. That's pretty cool. I do kind of like the structure to this game, but then at the same time, I kind of wish it was a little bit more open, like a little bit more open-ended, like Final Fantasy VII was. Final Fantasy VII felt more like an adventure, whereas this kind of feels more like I know Devil May Cry stuff gets thrown around a lot, but it kind of feels more like. It kind of feels more like that. It feels like it's it's a few different games. It feels like it's Final Fantasy RPG, but then it's like kind of smashed into like Devil May Cry type level structure where you'll go through and you'll complete like the mission, and then you'll go back to the base, and then you'll go out on another mission. And because that's kind of the way that it's feeling right now. And if that's the way that it is, that I mean, that's not a big deal. Then, like I could sit down and play through a mission and then be like, okay, yeah, then I can do something else. And that's pretty cool. Story-wise so far, it's starting to get good. It's starting to pick up. I'm starting to kind of, understand, what's going on. Because like I said, I'm coming into this blind. I've never played this. I've never watched a review on it. I've never watched anybody talking about it. So I'm really enjoying how the story is, and it feeds into it definitely feeds into Final Fantasy VII, because I've already ran into a character that's part of the Final Fantasy VII game, and that is and that's so it's starting to feed into that. It's starting to give me like I feel it feels familiar after playing Final Fantasy VII Remake and stuff, and like Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation back in the day. It's starting to it feels like I said, it's starting to feel familiar. I'm starting to be like, okay, yeah. So it's something that I'm starting to pick up on, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. What else? Combat, character design, like the character design is pretty nice. You can tell it does look a little bit. You can definitely tell that the characters are upgraded. Just like they are in Final Fantasy VII Remake for the most part. Textures look pretty dang good. Facial animations are looking all right. Like I said, you can tell that they didn't go 100% all out on it, but they did enough to justify the... I actually think it's a pretty fair price for the most part. I feel like the pricing is pretty fair. Depending on the game, I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me to get through it, but for the most part, like it feels pretty fair. It feels pretty fair. I think it was like $49.99 and not the full $60. Maybe a $39.99 price tag would have been, a little bit more like reasonable, but it's Final Fantasy. It's got the Final Fantasy name, so you're going to get the Final Fantasy price with that. And I do believe that if you played Crisis Core back on the PSP, I feel that I feel like the visual quality in the game in general is definitely upgraded enough to where you'll be like, whoa, man, this looks a lot better. Because like textures on these walls, in the wood, in the trees are looking pretty good. Like everything looks like it's been touched up and definitely, brought to a higher standard for sure. So yeah, I think this is pretty decent. I'm looking forward to finishing it. I'm hearing a lot of good things. I'm seeing a lot of good, positive reception in like some of the stuff that I've seen. So yeah, man, I'm on board with this. I feel like it's pretty decent, and I think Square Enix for providing code for this. After Babylon's Fall, I didn't think they would ever do that again. So I'm grateful that I got this opportunity again. So yeah, my first impressions are looking good. Performance is good. Frame rate is pretty decent. It feels good. I would like to see maybe like a 1440p mode with a higher frame rate. I feel like maybe that's something that they could definitely look into it for it. But I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Story so far seems pretty good. Zach is a likable character, so yeah, this is pretty cool, man. I'm grateful that they decided to remake, not remake, but remaster, and do like a lot of remake. You could tell they did a lot of remake stuff to this, character design, stuff like that. So all the characters, the enemies, everything looks pretty touched up. All the textures in the wall, like I said, man, this looks great for $49.99. That's not a bad deal, especially if you have already played this and you're really liking this game. This is nice. I like to see projects get updated and have quality visuals and stuff like this. That really does make me pretty happy. I really do like the way this looks. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.